Hi. Welcome. We're going to start Dark Souls 3.
Let's go, boys. Let's get hype.
I guess I say start at some point? Okay. Start. No? Okay.
All right, good luck. So yeah, at the start of the run, we start off as Assassin and Fire Gem as Burial Gift. Assassin is going to be used because having Spook at the start of the run is going to be really useful for a couple of Spook quit-outs, we like to call them, in the later stages of the run. And Fire Gem is going to be useful for a glitch called Tumble Buff, which we're going to be showing probably at the second boss. Tumble Buff is basically a glitch that allows us to buff a non-buffable weapon, in this case a fire-infused short sword, which is going to be useful because we're going to do like a lot of damage to bosses early in the game. And coming up is our first boss, Gundyr. Not cooperating. Pretty good. So the cycle for Gundyr, we actually use a cycle for this boss. You start off 5 R1s as he's getting up, and then you get behind him, you do 2 R1s, and then 2 times 3 R1s, and then 2 two-handed charge R3s for a restagger, and then 2 R1s to finish him. And that was Gundyr.
I think one main, really important part about actually fighting bosses in Dark Souls 3 is a stagger count. So usually I end up counting. The stagger count was at 8, for example. And most boss fights I will have to end up counting, so I can't exactly explain what I'm doing in the boss fight, but Dark's going to cover that for me.
Yeah, so we're now in Firelink. We're going to buy a couple of things at the start of the run. We're going to buy Bones, Heal Aid, Short Sword, and a Talisman, if I'm not mistaken. Heal Aid and Talisman are going to be used to perform the glitch I just talked about, called Tumble Buff. Here we're going to allot the Estus because we don't need the Ashen Estus, and it's nice to have 4 Estus at the start of the run. Also, I think we should do a roll call, might be useful. Next to me is Typo, I'm Dark, and of course Savy is running, so... And we're off to a high wall at the start, so I think this will be a good time to read some donations, if you have any.
I have plenty of donations. Let's start from a $200 donation from Cranker saying, "Great job from everyone in front of the camera and behind the scenes for this AGDQ. These marbles goes to that beautiful Dram 2 run. Marbles, 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 marbles." We also have a $300 donation from Freelancer42 saying, "Dram 2 hype, let's make it happen." I have a $20 donation from Jacob G73 saying, "It took me 3 years of watching before I lost my grandmother to 2 types of cancer last summer, and now I have the money. I have to put my donation to the man who got me into speedrunning, Grand Pooh Bear. Let's meet this incentive with all the marbles."
Okay, so what you just saw was Savy Savy picked up the gold pine resin, but normally you're supposed to stand still, of course, and pick up the resin, but Savy did a neat little animation cancel over the ledge, which allowed her to pick up the gold pine resin and then clip over the ledge at the same time. It's a small little time save. Yeah, we're just dodging some high wall mobs here. Should be fine, or it's fine. Okay. So yeah, coming up is the first instance of what we call Spook quit-outs. Basically, what we do is we cast Spook, and at the moment we're going to fall down, we're going to perform a quit-out, and that will allow us to spawn back down there, because apparently, for some reason, we can spawn down there with Spook. I don't know.
Which surprisingly is in every Dark Souls
Yeah,
game.
which surprisingly works in more than one Dark Souls game.
One of those amazing things that carried over from Dark Souls 1.
Which is good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
You're going to see it get used in a few times in the run.
I do want to give you guys a quick reminder and update. We are currently at $22,793 out of the $25,000
Wow, that's
incentive for
insane.
blindfolded. So get those donations in. You have until the end of this run to get those blindfolded bosses in this run.
That is amazing, guys. Thank you so much so far.
So I normally can just walk out here, but this is part of the speedrun. You talk to Emma, and if you quit out here, you actually get teleported to the entrance again.
Yeah.
It's like a neat feature, so thought I might as well keep it in. So I'm also about to tumble buff, so I'll be using the gold pine resin to buff my sword, well, my fire sword, pretty much.
Yeah, so you're going to see the first instance of tumble buff being used here. So we're going to use the gold pine resin on the fire infused short sword, which we can't use. But the action of using it will get stored in the game memory. But then by using heal aid and drinking an Estus, the game will still override that action onto the fire infused short sword, which allows us to still use this on the fire infused short sword with just a bit more damage. Okay, that's really good. Nice, good job. Okay, that was really good. So everything went like a bit quickly there, but I'll try and explain what happened. So normally what we use here is a strat called No Charge Void, where we do a specific amount of hits to stagger him out of the charge he does before he goes into second phase, which is, it saves a bit of time. I believe it's like 7 seconds or 6 seconds.
It's also kind of based on the RNG he gives you, so he gave me the kind of poke attack, which doesn't give me a lot of time to actually get hits off. Hence why normally by rotation he doesn't do anything after I stagger him, but since I didn't have enough hits, my stamina was kind of depleted and the rotation was not perfect.
Yeah. So say we just picked up like a couple of alluring skulls, which are going to be used later in the run for a couple of occasions. These dogs are not being kind.
Yeah, this particular area seems to be a bit of a nuisance.
Okay, so we're going to pick up the Estus shard here at the
I see a teleporting dog.
Yeah, for some reason this game has a weird property where if dogs get like outside of your vision, the game can randomly teleport them towards you somewhere. It's really weird. Also, Savy picked up the charcoal pine resin here, which is going to be used to do another tumble buff for the Abyss Watchers boss and High Lord Wolnir, which we're going to see pretty soon. But yeah, this is nothing more than running through Undead Settlement, so if you have any more donations, now would be a good time.
You betcha. I have a $500 donation from Tangang saying, nothing to see here, move along. Gotta get working on that Dram 2 incentive. Thank you very much. We have a $150, oh, there's some clapping. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, you know? I have a $150 donation from Ben with the pen saying, just in case people haven't noticed, you can donate to Grand Poober playing Dram World. Half all other priorities, this has to be met. Also, you know, kill cancer dead and stuff.
So this elevator is going to come up, but Savy casted Spook, and we're just going to, you know, just run off and then roll off the elevator. No need to wait until it comes up. So that Ice Knight just passes you.
And does he ever give any weird RNG, or is it generally pretty easy?
It's generally pretty easy, yeah.
Okay.
There's not a lot to it. So Savy's going to grab the bonfire here for probably the most notorious skip in the game coming up, called Farenkeep skip. We'll explain it in a little bit, but I think Savy might need some quiet time for this one because this skip is pretty annoying, if I have to say.
Let's put it this way, if you've messed up, you probably can, there's a higher chance of you actually dying, so. It's not a fun skip if you actually mess
Yeah,
up.
so we're going to explain what the skip is in just a little bit, but I'm going to give Savy the time to hopefully get this first try.
Hopefully not die.
Okay, that dog's suicided, that's good. Oh, that's all right. I mean, I was kind of hoping that we would die here because this is normally what happens in runs, you know. This is basically Dark Souls 3 speedruns in a nutshell right now, where you spend like 8 or 9 minutes of the game just running through the game and then getting up here and trying to jump out of that gap, which causes a so-called death cam, which we're going to use to skip a part of Fair and Keep with. We're going to explain that in just a little bit. But could try and do a quit out here, yeah.
Someone's back seeing me.
Real quick, I do want to note that we did meet the incentive for blindfolded bosses.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you so much, guys.
That will be happening after this run.
A bit too early. So we only have like a couple of frames for this jump to get into the death cam property, as we call it. If you jump out too early, then you have another shot at it. But if you jump too late, then you fall and you die. And
Sorry.
that's all right.
Okay.
Yes, and we got it. Good job. Okay. Okay. No.
The camera got really wonky. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. So stuff can get kind of annoying here. So what you just saw was a skip we call a death cam, and basically, in that specific spot where you like normally fall to your death there's a kill plane and another plane which puts the camera on top view, which is normally the property you see when you're dying. So the part there is just low enough so we can run up to the slope and then jump out, but not actually touch the kill cam so we die. But we do touch the plane which is there that gives us the so-called death cam. So stuff gets a bit wonky in a death cam. The controls get twisted, and also we're going to use that to run up to the Fair and Keep area, or at least like a further part of the Road of Sacrifices area, which is not loaded there, and it should allow us to skip a large portion of the game. Okay,
I don't know if it's actually going to work anymore.
that's fine. Take your time. It should be fine.
I would say my consistency is usually high, but
This is a very difficult trick. I will take the time to read a $30 donation from
Go on.
Neophage saying, it's always great to see Grand Pooh Bear run Dram 2. Let's see this awesome ROM hack get featured at AGDQ. We are currently at $28,000 out of the $125,000 needed to run Super Dram World 2. So get those donations in, guys.
So Savvy is doing a quit out here because normally he uses Skull to lure the dogs in there, but the dogs are alive now. We don't want to spend every time killing the dogs. It's pretty annoying. Yeah, this trick can be like a real nuisance. If you jump too late, then you bump up against the slope and then roll off and die. And it's a very reset-heavy point in the run. It basically skips about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I think it was recently retimed by a bunch of Dark Souls 3 runners. So.
We have a question coming in from the chat asking to explain what no teardrop percent means.
So basically, in the true any percent version of this game, we use a very major glitch called Teardrop, which we use a spell with to skip like very large portions of the game. But in this specific category, it's banned. So that's pretty much what it stands for. If you want to look up how it works, then go to speedsouls.com and type in Teardrop. Don't actually flood the website, but or do it. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Good job.
All right.
Okay. Go
Okay,
on.
I did
Go
not
on.
walk off.
Good
We're
job.
fine. Sorry. I have a
So-
dog after me too. That's nice.
So this dog should respawn at the point where you run off there. Just... Oh, okay. That's not good. Okay, so normally when you run down there, the stairs, everything that's past you, or like behind you, I mean, normally despawns. So, yeah.
I have a $50 donation from Mad SVG saying, I have to donate again for my girl Savy and her amazing blind bosses. Say hype.
Thank you, Matt. Oi.
I also have a $1,000 donation from
Okay.
Kiwi238
Thank you.
saying, had to make my donation during the Dark Souls 3 run. Best of luck, no game crashes, and let's hit that Dram World incentive.
Yeah, he said game crashes. In the all bosses route we do, this game is pretty notorious for crashing. We're still not sure why. It has to do something with the DLC loads. I'm not even entirely sure. Okay, nice job again.
Okay, I think we have no dog following me. That's good. They don't usually come up this far, but
Okay, and we're in the safe now. That's good. Okay, great
All
job,
right.
Sadie. Good stuff. Okay, so the navigation here is a bit wonky. This is the swamp area where, if you played this game, are like crabs and stuff. But this is just a white plain now. There's nothing here. Nothing in this area is actually loaded. So we're going to run through this area. And if you played this game, you know there's a shortcut door which leads to the Fair and Keep perimeter bonfire, which we're going to go through now, which is not loaded in currently. We're going to do a quit out.
I have $120 from ZZ20, or Zeta Gundam ZZ20 saying, I need my bonus incentives, half to the blindfolded run and half to Super Dram World.
And we're at the other side of the door. Okay, so we're about to pick up the main weapon in the game, which we're going to use. It's the Sellsword Twin Blades. The reason you're probably asking, why are we going to use this weapon? This weapon is pretty overpowered in this game. The reason why is we're going to infuse it with Sharp Infusion. Sharp Infusion scales B, I believe, B or A on the Sellsword Twin Blades, which give it very high damage per second. And we're also going to level Dex. We're going to also level Dexterity with it, which should allow us to do a ton of damage for most of the bosses in this game.
I have a $100 donation from Quintopia saying, Woo Dram 2, let's get Pooh up and running. Put me down for $5 a death as well. I assume that means in this run.
Maybe.
hopefully no more deaths.
Okay, so we're getting the Fair and Keep perimeter bonfire here. We're getting this bonfire because after we kill Volnir, we'll have to warp here back and then go to Sage. Sage is also going to use an Ember here to restore health.
I kind of like there's the next boss. We're kind of going to glitch out. He's also interesting to see for a first timer. And for that, I actually need full HP because I need that to align this next skip or glitch.
Yeah. So we're not actually planning on fighting Watchers. We're going to use a neat glitch we call Watchers Glitch, which we're going to use. We're going to use a specific set of movements to. There's a trigger at like past where you go into the boss fight, which normally should take us into the boss fight. But if we use a specific set of movements to go into that trigger and then do a quit out right as the fight starts, the Abyss Watchers should get frozen in.
Let's see.
Moment of truth, boys. And we got it first try. Nice. Good job. This also still works on current patch, by the way.
So there are a few other instances of this in other runs, right?
You mean the
For different bosses,
This
of
watch
course.
glitch?
Yeah.
It actually works on every boss in online play. So if you're playing online, you could actually do this on any boss. I believe it has to do with people use summon in. There's a video on it on YouTube. But yeah, you don't watch that. But yeah, you could actually do that on any boss if you like.
But at least for speedrunning it in 1.04, so the patch before this, you could do Soul of Cinder, for example.
Yeah. And there was Abyss Watchers. So here you're going to see the first instance of duping. The same method we use to get a resin on a non-buffable weapon also works with Soul, but then to actually dupe the Soul. So say we use the Abyss Watcher Soul and then use the same inputs for Tumble Buff to actually dupe that Soul. So she got twice the amount of souls now. So we're on our way to grab the Sharp Gem, which we're going to use to infuse the Sellsword Twin Blades, which is right over here. These very friendly Grave Wardens, which are usually pretty innocent, Kappa.
Okay. That's usually pretty scary to actually walk past.
Okay. So maybe this would be a good time if you have any more donations. There's not really a lot that's coming up.
Sure. I have $25 from Corridol245 saying, "Greetings to y'all from Cologne. AGDQ is my favorite event, and I spend every free minute to watch the stream. Love the people, love the skills, and the runs. It is amazing to see how this event keeps developing every year. Man, these overlays are so nice this year. Big thank you to all of you, and good luck to Savvy TV for her run. Girl power. Shoutouts to my buddy Fabian, aka Fabzors."
Thank you.
So we're going to pick up the Grave Warden's ashes here. There's a couple of things we can do with these ashes. Will allow us to buy shards and bleed, which is going to be the main resin used to fight bosses with. We're currently on patch 108, which is an older version of the game. In that patch, bleed was slightly stronger than, well, slightly stronger, it was actually a lot stronger than what it actually is now. So it's going to do a lot of damage on bosses coming up. Coming up is our friend Wolnir. So we're also going to use Tumble Buff for Wolnir, just because it's really powerful. Okay, so the first bracelet breaks in 3 hits. The second one should break in 8 hits. It's going to be 5 hits for the final bracelet. We're going to do 4 here and then wait until his arm goes back and do another R1. And then he's dead. So we're back to Firelink now to get some upgrades for the Cell Swords, which we're going to use. So we're going to buy 9 bleed, a couple of bones, and some shards. And a dagger, of course. The dagger is going to be useful for an instance we call dagger walking. Dagger walking is basically where you use the weapon art of the dagger to get through swamp areas, which usually block your movement. But you can use the weapon art of the dagger to like dash through the swamp. So we're gonna get 12 vigor and 34 dexterity here. And next on our way is Crystal Sage, our favorite boss of this game.
The reason he says that is because this is pretty much the most RNG heavy boss we can get. And if you want to PB and he dances around for 40 seconds, you can just reset. It doesn't, and you can't really trigger the attack or anything. It's just RNG.
Yeah. So we're gonna wait for Crystal Sage to do a specific attack, which is called Soul Mass. When Sage is doing Soul Mass, he can actually teleport away, which is useful because normally you would want to kill him at stage 1. In stage 2, he spawns clones, which makes the fight really annoying, really slow. So what you do in any percent no teardrop is you run into the boss room and you wait for Sage to do Soul Mass. At the point where he does Soul Mass, you can cycle around him, and then he should be dead in the first phase of the fight. So I think we got like 40 seconds for more donations if you have any.
Is this a good time for me to mention some incentives?
Yeah, probably.
Cool. All right. We have a couple of incentives that are still open. We have for Final Fantasy IV, we have Young's Vegetables. If you want to make him eat some vegetables, we have about 4,000 out of 20,000. An important one is a link to the past randomizer swordless mode. We are at 36,984 out of 50,000. So if you want to see them play the game swordless, you got to go for that. And we also have $36,000 out of $125,000 for Super Dram World 2. So get those donations in, guys.
Good job.
Oh,
and that was Sage. So for Sage's appearance on a GDQ run, he gave us pretty good RNG. That was not the worst.
The
Yeah.
rotation wasn't perfect, but
Yeah.
he started meleeing me.
Yeah.
If you've seen that before, sometimes he'll just sit there and do that same attack that you saw the first 2 times over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
I think the record is like, he spent like what, maybe over 2 or 3 minutes just dancing around doing nothing, basically not giving us the attack we won. So it's like a really RNG heavy point of the run. So we just picked up the Herald Armor. The Herald Armor is useful because it slightly gives more physical resistance, which is just going to be a bit more useful than the Assassin Armor.
Plus it has a cape, which is cool.
Yeah. There's another instance of teleporting dogs. And there's again. So we picked up an Estus shard, and the dog just won't go away. Let's see how long he lasts. Okay, we should be good. So Savy just picked up an Estus shard. Estus shards give us 1 more Estus than what we have currently. We currently have 5, so we should get 6. We're also going to make a slight detour, pick up another Ash Shears called an Undead Bone Shard. Undead Bone Shards basically reinforce the strength of the Estus, so it heals more HP with drinking one Estus, which is just going to be a bit more useful. And this will basically just us be running through Cathedral of the Deep, so if you have any more donations, this would be a good time.
Awesome. I have $150 from Anonymous saying, great incentives, great cause. Happy to make my first ever donation and hope to continue for years to come as AGDQ keeps doing great work. Love me some Dark Souls. Gotta see some bosses get wrecked blindfolded. We have $150 from Salander saying, great event. Thanks to all the runners and the tech crew for an awesome week. Donation goes to Swordless Mode for a Link to the Past randomizer. We have a $10 donation from Anonymous saying, you're doing great, Savy. AGDQ, give her your energy.
Hype.
We have $100 from Orels1 saying, go Savy, you can do it. I have a $150 donation from Dade saying, I went into Dark Souls completely blind and after dying a ton, got into it and it has become one of my favorite series. Cancer can be like Dark Souls. As long as we keep fighting, we will beat it. Good luck in the run and don't give up.
Okay, so we're going to pick up the first ring of the game, which is Lloyd's Sword Ring. Lloyd's Sword Ring basically gives us 10% more attack damage while being on full HP. So we're going to try and be on full HP for most of the run, just because it does more damage with the ring on. And here's the first instance of dagger walking. So Savy is spamming the weapon art of the dagger to get through this swamp bit faster.
I have a $10 donation from Jasper saying, good luck on the Dark Souls 3 run, Savy TV, and thanks to Speed Souls and all the people that have helped me to start speedrunning this game. Oh, and by the way, Dark, I finally finished my first any % no teardrop run.
Good job, man.
I have a $350 donation from Swagwise Gaming saying, great Dark Souls 3 run and awesome event. Let's end cancer together. Hype for Dram 2 and my man Grand Pooh Bear today.
So we're fighting Deacons now. Deacons can be a pretty annoying boss in this category. So basically, wherever the red orb is on one of these Deacons, we can do damage on the boss. I believe it takes about 5 Deacons to kill with the orb inside it for the true Deacon leader to spawn in, which is going to be now, as you can hear on the sound cue. Savy buffed her weapon with bleed, so we're going to do hopefully one bleed hit at the end to quickly kill him before stuff goes wrong, and that was Deacons.
Nice.
Very smooth. Yeah, there are some annoying stuff that can happen during that fight. The Deacons can have a spell called Force, which they can use to knock you down, which is pretty annoying. And we're on our way to Irithyll now.
I have a $750 donation from Solera of Asura 42 saying, greetings, fellow adventurers. It is I, Solera of Asura. I wish you the best of luck on your quest of rapid pace to kindle or quash the flame. Let us join in some jolly cooperation to defeat the beast that is cancer. Praise the sun. The souls go to Runner's Choice.
Thank you.
I have a $2,048 donation from Yuzuki Yukari saying, tomato. I have a $200 donation from Cracker Jackson saying, Dark Souls 3 is my favorite game. Loving the run so far. Go Savy TV. A shame we won't get to see the Aeon mini-boss killed.
So we're running through Irithyll now, but we're not actually going to run through it. We're going to do the next skip in line. It's called Irithyll Skip. So Savvy's going to do a specific lineup and then jump over a ledge here and then basically skip the entirety of Irithyll. So we're going to center the camera here and align it with like a part of the stairs there. Cast Spook and then jump on a specific moment. It's okay. So the timing on this jump can be pretty precise. Takes a bit of getting used to. Very nice, second try, good job. So I think this skip saves it saves a minute running through Irithyll and dodging a lot of mobs and stuff.
I think one thing we did not mention is most skips we do and glitches are actually on the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. So the reason why we use keyboard and mouse for these skips is most of these skips require us to be in like one straight line, such as Farron skip or Irithyll skip you just saw here. And you can basically get a straight line by using the sticks on your controller or so.
I have a real quick announcement that we just opened a new incentive for Final Fantasy IV, and it is titled New Glitch into Crazy Town. And the description is, there exists a recently discovered glitch in Final Fantasy IV that causes a whole bunch of really silly things to happen. Donate and we show it off. So get those donations in, $25,000.
So I was running through Irithyll dungeon here. We're going to pick up a resin along the way, which we're going to use for a later boss called Dragon Slayer. This is actually the only boss we don't use with Bleed. We actually don't fight him with Bleed.
Does Bleed, is it effective on him at all? Or?
No,
Okay.
which is pretty much the reason why we use Pale Pine.
Yeah.
So here's another instance of a Spook quit out. Which should spawn us down there. We're making our way to Yorm. Yorm is one of the 4 Lords of Cinder, which we all need to kill and get their souls in order to get to the final boss, Soul of Cinder, and be able to link the first flame. It's basically all the lore I know, by the way. Here's another Spook quit out, because Spook quit outs are just so useful. We're gonna cast Spook one more time here. It's kind of nice because we had to wait for that fireball anyway.
I have $15 from Mayana saying, thank you AGDQ for all the amazing runners, game speakers, and a lot of fun and skill. And of course, many thanks to you, proving that girls can beat this game too. Girl power.
So here's Yorm. I have to pick up the Storm Ruler, which is the only weapon we can use to kill him quickly. So the main way we fight this boss is we charge the Storm Ruler and then go in front of him, which will bait out this down slash attack, which gives us more than enough time to charge the Storm Ruler again. Now he goes into the second phase. We're going to charge the Storm Ruler again and wait until he gets up and then stagger him again and repeat the same process. So he's giving us really good attacks here. He can do another pretty annoying attack, which is a foot stamp attack, which he can instantly knock you down with, which is this one. And yeah, that was Yorm. Pretty good fight. Good job. And we're on our way to the next boss, Pontiff. Coming up is a section with more dogs, because FromSoft loves dogs, apparently. So by taking off our armor here, we can fast roll through the water, which is just slightly faster than getting like slowly through the water by just walking or trying to sprint.
I have a $30,000 donation
Holy
from the
moly.
Yeti. Hey all, Yeti here. We're nearing $100,000 raised from tees and Yeti wares. Thank you for your tremendous support. A special shout out to our Yeti friend Kevin Bobbitt, who fought hard against leukemia and beat it. We love you, Kev.
Okay, so say we use the alluring skulls to distract the first pair of dogs. We can't really do that for the second one, so we're just going to try and avoid them. They're being kind of nice to us now, so that's good. They can chase you pretty far up. They can chase you all the way to the boss room.
I do want to note that we are currently at $38,000 out of $50,000 for A Link to the Past randomizer sword list, and we are currently at $50,000 out of $125,000 for Super Dram World. Oh, it just updated. $60,000 out of $125,000 for Super Dram World 2. So if you want to see Grand Pooh Bear do his run, get those donations in, guys.
Did you have no stamina?
No, I got confused with the blind kill.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's nice that you're able to retry this by just do an extra quit out and then just go into the boss fight
Yeah,
again.
the problem is the next one, which will be the blind one, is on use different swords, and the rotation is completely different.
Yeah, the blind kill with the incentive is slightly different than this one, mainly because we're using another weapon to fight in. So we're gonna do a parry, a riposte, then 2 L1s as you're getting up, and then dodge this purple sword, parry, then do another riposte. So you're gonna back out of the AoE, then keep hitting him. And it should cost 1 bleed hit. Should hopefully kill him on the next hit. Nice job. And that was Pontiff. So the cycle for that boss is pretty precise. If you miss like 1 or 2 attacks, he can go into phase 2, and with his cologne, he's going to get pretty annoying. So
He's talking about after the AoE attack, because you have to get off 2 hits and then get off 5 hits before he spawns his clone. Otherwise, the rotation does. You saw it for me. It didn't work out. I need 1 extra hit on there.
yeah. So we're on our way to the next Lord of Cinder, which is Aldrich. In between, you're going to pick up another pickup, which is called the Eastern Ashes, which allows us to buy a large Titanite charge with, so we can upgrade our weapon even further. There they are.
But yeah, we have quite some time now, so
Yeah, you can read more,
All
more
right.
donations.
Got it. I have a $40 donation from Elwick saying, had to donate while Savy kicks Dark Souls' butt. Love this run and wish you the best of luck for the rest of it. I have a $150 donation from Anonymous saying, nuke glitch into Crazy Town. You have my interest and my money. We are currently at, let me check. For Nuke Glitch into Crazy Town, we are currently at $13,000 out of $25,000. So if you want to see some crazy glitches that apparently could not even be explained via text, you need to get those donations in. I have a $50 donation from Chucky J saying, the Blizzard block was awesome and Savy's run is fun as well. Thanks GDQ team for this event. Congrats to all the runners. I have a very specific donation of $136.10 from Sandalphone saying, why won't you nuke me to Crazy Town? Won't you nuke me to Crazy Town? I have a $10,000 donation from the Kobold Inn.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, I have sunk thousands of hours into the Dark Souls series myself, and I can't wait for the remaster. Let's hope they eventually remaster Demon Souls 2. As for other games I love, let's see that Dram 2 run goal met. For the people.
I'm going to give the Eastern Ashes here and then get some more bleed, buy large Cyanide shards, and then upgrade our weapon to +6.
A quick update on Super Dram World 2. We are currently at $61,000 out of $125,000 incentive to have Grand Pooh Bear run this game.
You get to 16 vigor and 40 dexterity, which is going to be the cap for the dexterity level up. I'm going to get some more vigor and endurance before Soul of Cinder, the final boss. Yeah, this should probably get us through the rest of the bosses.
It should.
I have a $3,000 donation from Anonymous saying, potato.
So we're making our way to the castle in Orlando, where Aldrich is. We're gonna do another. We're gonna cast Spook here in a second, and then jump over the ledge, which is just slightly faster again.
I have a $150 donation from Dolce saying, shoutouts to everyone working so hard to make AGDQ possible. You all rock. Dram World 2, baby.
So here is Aldrich. Aldrich is pretty, well, I wouldn't say RNG heavy, but there is RNG.
There is RNG.
There is RNG. So we're going to do a lot of attacks early, and then he's going to teleport away. So where you are, opposed to from where Aldrich is coming out of the ground, will determine in which corner he will come out of the ground of.
Nice.
Pretty good fight. Good job.
So that was a 2-cycle.
That was a 2-cycle, yeah.
Okay.
Not too bad.
The 1 cycle is very uncommon.
It's pretty uncommon, yeah.
Okay.
So with the best RNG, he can randomly do more attacks instead of going into the ground and then teleporting away, which we call a 1 cycle because he doesn't actually teleport away.
Yeah. Right.
So here we murder Emma, and then we're on to Dancer.
She's very active for some odd reason.
Yeah. Pretty good damage overall. I'm gonna roll into the final spin and then do 1 bleeded, and that was Dancer. Yeah, this really shows like how overpowered the Cell Swords are. Even at this stage of the game, with bleed, it just does a lot of damage on bosses.
Especially if you actually be aggressive and get off stagger count, stuff like
Yeah.
that. That
It
really
also
does.
really helps that there's like a lot of attacks you can strafe post to rolling, so it just helps for dealing more damage quickly.
I have a $25 donation from the El Muchacho saying, hey there, Dark Souls has been one of my favorite series and excited for the remastered in May. For now, I will enjoy these runs. 2 questions for the couch. From all Souls games you've played, who is your favorite boss and which boss gave you the hardest time? For me, my favorite is Guile, and I had the hardest time with Slumbering Dragon.
I would probably say Midir, because Midir is just such an awesome DLC boss and just like one of the better dragons in Dark Souls. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, my favorite boss is definitely Manus from Dark Souls 1.
he's also awesome.
And the one that gave me the most trouble, I don't know. I can probably put together 3 or 4 different bosses in this game that probably did.
I mean, for me, it would also be Gale. I absolutely love him. I miss fighting him just because you don't fight him at any percent, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I might actually not make this though.
I think the damage might have got cancelled as you quit out, so that's good.
No, as in I wasn't earning early enough because I was talking.
Okay, you can do an extra quit out if you like. Doesn't really matter. So we just do an extra quit out here to cancel this fire breath the dragon does.
I think normally I'm supposed to be a bit further ahead, and just to make sure.
Yeah, normally you can run through here with 1 quit out, but if it takes 2, then it takes 2.
I have a $100 donation from JJ Power Couple Supreme saying, Savvy TV rules. Yay! Get him. I have a $25 donation from Alieo saying, you guys are killing it yet again. Thanks for all your hard work on this event. Savvy TV has been amazing through this run. Keep it up. Donation goes to Nuke Glitch into Crazy Town for the FF4 run.
Okay, so coming up is Dragon Slayer armor. We're gonna use a Blossom, so we get slightly more stamina regen. We're gonna use Pale Pine for this boss. So the big shield can be really annoying from this guy. He can sometimes just hold his shield up for seconds, and there are 2 choices you can make. You can either bash the shield, so you will follow that up with another attack, or you can wait until he stops blocking with his shield. There's also a lot of attacks you can punish, such as this one, and then he goes into the stagger for the final phase, which you can use to do more damage for. Nice, good job.
Did I roll that one?
It didn't look like it, but
I thought I
really
did,
good
but
fight.
I just screamed that suddenly. Okay.
Yeah, that fight can it can go annoying pretty quickly, especially in phase 2. There's like these butterfly things which are flying in the sky, which can spam orbs and spam laser beams as you're fighting Dragon Slayer, which can make the fight pretty annoying. So coming up is another section of the game called Grand Archives. This is the area before one of the final Lords of Cinder called Twin Princes.
And you can actually only access this if you have the other 3 Lord boss souls. So if you kill them, you can come in here. And yeah, we have 2 more bosses left.
Yeah. So if you have any more donations, now would be a good time again.
I have a $1,111.11 donation from Fish Sticks from Twitch saying, we need a serious spirit bomb if we're gonna hit 2 million, so I might as well get it started. Yeah! All right, he like literally wrote that in caps. I have a $500 donation from JustJoe84 saying, I've got to give the best FF4 names one last boost before the run. Go mac and cheese and boo cancer. I have a $250 donation from Adam165 saying, been watching for nearly 7 years now, and I take every minute I can to check this amazing event out. My donation goes to Blindfolded Pontiff and Gunder. That'd be crazy. Let's hit that incentive. It's already been hit, so just so you guys know. I have a $150 donation from Alpha Trion saying, been watching GDQ events since 2013, and every year it gets better than the last. I'm really loving all the races that have been run this year. It really adds an extra level of excitement to an already exciting event. My mom was diagnosed with skin cancer 2 years ago, and after going through treatment, it was recently found out that it is back and she is undergoing treatment again. I'm donating in the hopes that one day we can kill cancer quicker than a Dark Souls game.
Okay, that's a kind of scary place.
Yeah. That's why you normally hold your camera towards that knight, so you know what he does. It's fine though. It's nice to have +1 Estus, otherwise we had to chuck like 3 Estus to regain health, but should be fine.
I have a $150 donation from Hover Bantha saying, the world needs to see Pooh run Dram 2. Get up and donate. I have a $150 donation from Rafe Gall saying, just noticed there was a long way to go on the Super Dram World 2 run this afternoon. Grand Pooh Bear always does a great job. The more games, the better. Marbles. As a quick update on that, we are currently at $65,795 out of $125,000 needed for Grand Pooh Bear to run Super Dram World 2. So if you guys want to see that run, I see the chat talking about it pretty much all day. Get those donations in.
Nice. So those knights can be pretty annoying. They can all like aggro on you, or they can decide to do nothing and just buff. So that was pretty good. Coming up as princes.
I will kind of choose this fight because I'm not as good as most people that actually speedrun this, but I will not, like normally you could actually not lock on for this. That was my mistake. Then you can talk, sorry.
Yeah, so Savvy's going to do this fight locked on, but it's slightly easier and slightly faster to do the fight locked off. Why? Because you can continuously make him rotate with not having lock on, opposed to having lock on, and it's just really useful to have him not teleport and do annoying stuff. It's pretty good phase 1 so far. Also, you can strafe a lot of attacks from this boss.
I forgot I had +1.
Pretty good. So generally you want to stay behind him as much as possible, so you can spin around him, and also his little brother's on the back, so you can hit both bosses at the same time more easily. So if the big brother dies, then the Lothric, the younger prince, will start to revive him. So here's where the big brother dies. And we're gonna hopefully do another bleed hit. I think bleed already ran out, so it's fine. He's on really low HP. And that was Princes. Nice fight. I'm gonna pop some souls in the meanwhile while we're waiting here for the actual animation to come in. We're gonna warp back for the final boss.
That was okay.
That was good. Not too bad.
I would say first phase not the best, but
I have a $500 donation from Anonymous saying, Dram World, Dram World, Dram World. I also have a $150 donation from Kurt saying, marbles, 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 marbles.
Nice. Nice. So Savvy actually got both the throne animation cancels.
at least something good.
So normally you see this animation, which your character does by placing the soul up the throne, which you can cancel by running off the ledge off the throne you're actually placing the soul on. We're going to level up, get a bit more vigor, get a bit more endurance for the final boss. We're going to do a warp in this black screen, which will confuse the game and warp us to the kiln straight away, which is just slightly faster than ending up in Flameless Shrine, I think it's called, and then running up and teleport to this area using Bonfire.
Okay, last boss. Let's hope for no Pyromancer phase.
Yeah.
That's definitely like the most annoying. I can kind of do him, but I do mess up at times, but he's definitely the most annoying phase to get.
Yeah, so Cinder in phase 1 has, I believe, 4 phases. He has a scimitar phase, he has a spear phase, a magic phase, and just a normal sword phase, I think. We call Scimitar phase Pyrophase, I think. And we're just not hoping for that to happen because he's really quick. He can do a lot of annoying attacks in that phase.
Yeah, it gives you like no openings in that
No,
phase,
he
basically.
gives you no openings,
Yeah.
exactly. So we got one bleed hit off, that's nice. This is going pretty well so far. And we got Spear phase, that's not too bad. Too bad. So in Spear phase, he tends to poke a lot. He can be pretty annoying, but this one's pretty good. So he's going to phase 2 now. We're gonna slightly roll late into this in AoE, do 2 hits and then back off. From this 5-hit combo, we'll do a lot of damage, probably even one-shots you. So yeah, he can do kicks, he can do grabs. His slashes are really quick in this phase, but they're also more straightforward, so it's easier to dodge them. And this guy loves to kick. Wow. And Devil Soul Cinder.
Right.
Good job. And time is coming up on linking the first flame here.
I guess time, or?
Time. Nice. Very good run. Good job.
Besides FKS, I guess.
Besides Farenskip, that was a really good run. I'm impressed. Good job.
Yay. I haven't actually watched this end scene for a while. We usually just skip it the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I wish my FKS had a bit more high consistency. It usually does. A month ago, we had a Speed Souls marathon, and I think I was the only one who got it first try.
I think you were the only one, yeah.
Yeah, just
Pretty good.
not here. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I guess I'll shout out Speed Souls. You guys are awesome. I wish we had a bigger community here. It's kind of sad, but at ESA we have a huge community. We go bowling and everything. It's really fun. So maybe eventually we can build up for AGDQ as well.
Should be cool.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
next up is